You're watching Tom at programtom.com, and in this episode I'm gonna talk about smart contracts, the ultimate microservice architecture. So the smart contracts are the incarnation of the ultimate architecture of microservices, different instances of the same different incarnations of the same instance that are running in parallel without central authority, and that are independent from failures in some concrete country or whatever. So it is also a regional stuff. You could contact the microservice instance that is closer to you geographically. So the smart contracts, their code is public. The most of the smart contracts have public source code, so you could see them and you could execute them independently, and you could execute the smart contracts independently thanks to the blockchain. If you have some coins on the smart contract blockchain, you could execute them independently. So smart contracts, in the eyes of Web 2, the older version, are exposed through REST endpoints. Especially Ethereum has RPC, JSON, Web JSON API, and each method of smart contract is actually a method that has endpoint that is exposing itself via the name of the method, and the input and the output parameters are mapped to the data types that are in the Solidity programming language. But in the view of the old world, these are just the smart contracts are just JSON RPC calls, and the newer layers, like the layer 1 scaling solution and layer 2 scaling solution, I have SDKs in command line interfaces that are doing stuff around this, around these RPCs, so to allow easier developer life and to actually reach people. So if you make the lives of programmer easier, you could actually reach people. And one critical point of smart contracts is the security. I've actually written about it in the past. So security has the same pain point as the old world. You've got to restrict the access to who could execute your smart contract. And this is in terms of crypto authentication. It is the private key that is allowed to execute a smart contract. And if you want if you have multiple people, you should have role-based access to some JSON RPC calls and stuff like that. So it is a new platform where you've got to implement the same applications, the same stuff from the out world. But the most beneficial part is the scalability. Your smart contract is automatically scaled by everyone that runs a node that is part of the blockchain. And besides that, as I said before, you've got to I you could connect to the node that is most closer to you, and this is improving the speed of light, uh, because even in small area like Earth, it takes time for the bytes to fly between the different endpoints of the world. So it takes time, and if your node is closer to you, it will take less time to actually fly. It will take less time for the bytes to fly between you and the node. And this one another beneficial stuff that the smart contract blockchains offer.